Imagine a place where the sun never reaches, a place of crushing darkness and freezing cold, miles beneath the waves. Now, imagine the strange, alien creatures that live there are suddenly running toward the surface. They say when the messenger from the sea god's palace appears on a beach, it isn't a curiosity, it's a final warning. Something is shifting in the abyss, and the ocean is trying to tell us that the world is about to change.
Hello and welcome. If you're new here, welcome to Amazing 5.
The ocean is the heart of our planet. It covers 70% of the Earth, yet we treat it like a vast, empty blue desert. We have mapped the surface of Mars and sent rovers to distant moons, but nearly 80% of our own ocean remains a total mystery. It is a world of layers, and as you move deeper, the rules of life begin to bend. At the surface, life is a kaleidoscope of color, where dolphins leap and coral reefs shimmer. But as you sink, the light fades into the Twilight Zone, where creatures look like sketches from a nightmare with bulging eyes and needle-sharp teeth. Finally, you reach the midnight zone and the abyss, where the pressure is so intense it would crush a human body in seconds. For eons, the creatures here have lived in a stable, silent world. They are the elders of our planet, evolved for a peace that was never supposed to change. Until now. In recent years, something unprecedented has been happening across the globe. Deep-sea creatures, specifically the legendary Oarfish, a silvery giant that can grow as long as a school bus, have been washing up on shores from Japan to Chile. In Japanese folklore, the Oarfish is called Ryugu no Tsukai, the messenger. Ancient stories warn that they appear to signal impending earthquakes and tsunamis. For a long time, the modern world laughed at these legends, but the patterns became too haunting to ignore. In 2011, dozens of oarfish were found on the coast of Japan just before the devastating Tohoku earthquake. In 2017, they appeared in the Philippines before a massive quake, and in 2022, the pattern repeated in Chile. Why are they leaving the only home they've ever known? Science is beginning to prove that these creatures are incredibly sensitive to the grinding of tectonic plates and the release of deep earth gases. They feel the heartbeat of the earth long before our machines do. When they flee to the surface, they aren't coming to see us. They are running away from a disaster we haven't even detected yet. But it isn't just the shifting earth that is driving them out. We are. The ocean is warming at an alarming rate, and as the water heats up, it loses its oxygen. Huge stretches of the deep sea are becoming oxygen minimum zones, underwater dead zones, where the water is so thin that even the hardiest creatures begin to suffocate. Imagine living in a house where the walls are slowly closing in and the air is running out. Your only choice is to run for the door, even if the world outside is bright, terrifying, and hostile. Adding to this struggle is a new kind of invisible violence: sound. We think of the ocean as a silent world, but for whales and deep-sea life, sound is their only way to see. Modern military sonar and industrial drilling create underwater blasts that travel for hundreds of miles. These sounds are so powerful they can cause internal bleeding, disorienting these ancient animals so deeply that they beach themselves in massive groups. They end up gasping for air on the sand, preferring a slow death in the sun to the agony of the sound-filled water. We often talk about the planet as something we own, but the deep sea reminds us that we are merely guests. Every time a rare creature from the abyss washes up, it is a whisper from a world we are accidentally destroying. Biologists warn that we are standing on the edge of the sixth mass extinction. In the past, every time the ocean's ecosystem began to fail, the rest of the planet followed. The deep sea is our early warning system, the canary in the coal mine. If the life in the deepest trenches can no longer survive, our life on the surface is not far behind. Nature rarely screams. It whispers. It whispers in the cooling of the wind, the melting of a glacier, and the arrival of a silvery fish on a sandy beach. We have spent decades ignoring these whispers, lost in our digital worlds and scrolling through screens while the real world burns and drowns. It is time to listen. We aren't the masters of this blue marble. We are its guardians. The next time you see a headline about a strange creature found on a shore, don't just scroll past. Listen to what the abyss is trying to tell you. Because if we wait for the ocean to start screaming, it will be too late to save anything at all.